And our second question is, does cryptocurrency and blockchain deserve the negative criticism that it often receives? So we could just go on our phones right now. We could literally just see articles on Google, BBC, everything else about potential scams, potential corruption cases involving crypto influencers, stakeholders, and the like. So as people in the space, it's also kind of, I'd love to get your thoughts on what you think about the criticism that it receives. Do you think that can maybe change in the future? Or do you think there's always going to be that wariness towards crypto and blockchain and the space in general?
Right. So I think it's well deserved. The negativity is well deserved. But like every system, right? It's not crypto problems, it's people's problem. So people are greedy, and what the greedy people do, they try to steal, they try to scam, right? So people actually think that crypto and blockchain is just about shit coins or meme coins. It's bigger than that. It's a whole ecosystem, right? There's real world asset tokenization, there's the NFTs. I mean, obviously the NFTs has a lot of scam around it. I mean, talking about money laundering. So I see somebody just, sell a rock for $100 million. I'm like, oh, I know what to do next, right? So I'm already having smart ideas. Maybe I'll just sell a watch and some gazillion dollars or whatever, right? So it's a people problem, basically. We have people who are greedy and want to take advantage of these situations. And let's come back to the traditional system. Yes, there's scams in traditional system as well. We have and it's actually on the $1 trillion scale, not even $1 million scale, right? So we have trillions of dollars, trillions of pounds being stolen on the traditional system. So I think that, so I have a non-stake on this, but I'd rather lose money in crypto and lose it fast, right? I'll lose money fast and be done with it, cry fast and be done with it, than rather have my money go down due to inflation in 10 years. And I don't even have time to grieve because it's going to take a long time, right? So we're getting scammed on both ends. It's just how you see it.
Sure.
Right. So I think there are a lot of bad experiences, bad leaders, bad builders in the system, but it exists everywhere. It exists in every ecosystem. And it just depends on how you look at the situation. So what do you think, Shantelle?
Yeah, I really agree with you. I think as humans, we're wired against change, right? And crypto is a new technology. Blockchain is a new technology. So immediately your guard is up. And as you said, is it the technology or is it the people?
Right.
Because the behavior of people and the bad actors have given the technology a bad name, but the technology is solid, it's sound. And I think, if we get into the nitty gritty of it, there's a company called Chainalysis, and they are the leading blockchain intelligence company.
Yeah.
They do all the forensic work when things go wrong. And in their estimations, only 1% of all illicit financial activity is in crypto. And the UN estimates that there's 5% of bad behavior. So the rest of it is going through traditional systems. But the big banks don't have a bad name. When they go bust and the money runs out, the governments bail them out because it's compliant or because it's legal.
Yeah.
But there is so much bad behavior right in those institutions. So I would just say the crypto doesn't necessarily deserve the bad name it has. We say this in the space all the time. We're oh, it's so early. We're so early. We're building before regulation is in place. And so it's kind of the Wild West sometimes. But the behaviors of people is what makes it bad.
Yeah, no, I think the 2 points you made, first, it being a new concept, and it's only been around for a few decades or a couple of decades now. So there's always going to be skepticism to new products. But that was going to be one of the questions I was asked when you said you compared the ratio in terms of corruption to crypto compared to the ratio of corruption compared to fiat money and currencies. I always found that interesting, and it would be really interesting just to know the difference between them. And as you said, when banks go bust, there isn't too much stake there, or there isn't too much criticism there in relation. So, but I want to touch you did mention meme coins. And I'll be honest, I'm probably not the biggest fan, unless maybe the Trump coins or the celebrities hosting these coins. And yes, kind of the pump and dump is becoming a kind of in a weird way a negative phenomenon. So what are your thoughts there? Just because for me, it does seem like a lot of these meme coins are big scams and they are hurting investors, but what are the thoughts around that?
Yeah, so meme coins, so all the things about meme coins, it's like, bake a cake really fast. That's what it's really about. Like, make money fast, put your money in fast, get your profit out fast, or lose your money fast. So I think that's where the traditional system wins, because good things take time, obviously. So lots of people made money. I've personally made money from some crypto. I've probably lost more money. So meme coins have like this terrible idea, because it's just about the latest rock, the latest chicken, the latest trend, whatever's going around the corner. So it has a bad name, definitely. And if you don't really understand the system, stay off of it. That's the system. And to be honest, there are tools like that's why we're using Coplay. So it actually gives you leverage, so you can see what carriers are buying. You can get like analytics of what's happening in the system, what people are talking about on X, what people are talking about on the internet. So when you actually buy a token, you're not just buying because some carrier just shows that was like, buy my token, and he gets 100x and you become exit liquidity, right? You actually get leverage. So if you can get your hands on leverage, get your hands on tools, decentralized tools, of course, that can help you create your stop loss. And if you can invest what you're willing to lose, because people get emotional and they just invest their money and they expect, it's a short token. There's no such thing as short token. Even in the traditional system, things go bad as well. So like I said, it's like trying to move fast. Even in the traditional system, things go bad as well. So you just have to make sure you invest wisely, invest what you're willing to lose, and make sure you take advantage of leverage. Investors tips, stay away from it if you want. Absolutely.
I mean, like, I love a good meme coin, and also, I mean, it all depends on your risk appetite, right? Your crypto is yours, it's your money, right? You can choose what you want to do with that. And like, the way I think about meme coins is, I think meme coins like are to crypto what penny stocks are to stocks. If you invest in penny stocks or try and trade them, that's like your choice. And it's the same with meme coins. I think the reason why they have like such a bad rep is because they're just like silly. Like it's really silly, it's really silly stuff. But I'd also think that like memes as a whole are entrenched in like core like blockchain culture. And I think that that's like the thing that retail investors don't really understand. Like they don't necessarily see that side of things. Memes are huge when you're like working in the space. They're absolutely massive, and I think it's like it's an inside joke that now outsiders are part of the conversation, and it doesn't necessarily carry. There is financial risk with like anything that you do on chain, but that is what you have to accept, that risk. If somebody like wrongs you or pulls the plug of the coin you just invested in, you kind of accept that risk going into it, So like, I'm not necessarily against them. I don't think they're like pushing the technology forward or like the credibility of the space forward.
Well, you can compare it to in the stock world where there's various stocks that aren't pushing anything forward, just using it to
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
No, okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, well, I also think the regulation, if they're more, I don't think it's ever going to get to that space where coins are going to get regulated. It's never going to get to that space. But I think stocks are more regulated. But like she said, it's really entrenched in the meme culture. And I mean, I know people who just buy stuff because they have like a sentimental value for that. Something like, it's a beard. I like it has like my beard or whatever.
It's a loaf of bread or something.
Exactly. So I mean, sometimes you can get really diabolical. Like someone can just die and deal with meme coins. It's like 100 meme coins, and it's like, what's wrong with you guys, bro?
There are fringe groups that really like really dark jokes. You don't have to participate in that. But I think the whole point of like blockchain technology is that like it's missionless. Like, do what you like. There will always be bad behavior. There's always bad behavior, but you choose whether or not to engage it.
Okay, fascinating, and thanks for explaining basically the reasons as to why meme coins exist. But I just want to touch on before we finish volatility across crypto. So we saw when it came to COVID the massive increase and then drop in Bitcoin and altcoins in general. And now we saw Bitcoin in recent years go up to 100k and back down to 77. K around that level at the moment. So often a lot of people say that one of the big criticisms is just how volatile these currencies are. And some obviously say you need volatility in order to make good investments and to make that return. But people argue that the cryptocurrencies right now, especially financial transactions, are just too volatile. What are your takes there? What are your thoughts?
That's why we have low risk DeFi. That's why you have good stable coins, right?
Right. Yeah.
There were like market driven tokens, those volatile ones. And I think that like they will exist. Like I always go back to stocks, like parallel markets, right? Like stocks are also quite volatile. You have other fiat currencies that are volatile. The US dollar has been very volatile for the past year. And I think that it's about choosing the right currencies to transact in. Some people make payments in Bitcoin because they want the privacy of it all. Some people make payments in like a US denominated stablecoin because that's the only thing the merchant would accept. And then you have other people that will make payments in local stable coins, or which just mirrors the local currency, but it's just on your phone. So yeah, that's my answer.
Right. So like she mentioned about like the different ecosystems. There's Solana, Ethereum, and I think the volatility issue is you really high in the Solana side of things because we have new coins and all of that. There are stronger ecosystems, XRP, Bitcoin to be volatile, but we know that Bitcoin is a store of value. Bitcoin has its huge the halving, the institutions invested in Bitcoin. These are like reasons why we know it's going to rise, right? I mean, doesn't mean you're going to go up. Doesn't mean you're going to go up every time. It's also going to have its volatility, but you have to invest wisely. You have to do your DCA, like we're discussing, and she mentioned that she does DCA. So do your DCAs, do your stop losses and all of that. But yeah, the ecosystems, there's Solana, Ethereum, there's XRP. I think there are lots of other blockchains like Base, and so on. So these ecosystems have like their tokens, I think Chainlink and so on. So there are lots of ecosystems that if you put your cash in, you can actually control higher funds, and then especially USDT, USDC. So it's obviously hedged to fiat, so it's kind of safe. I mean, even though there's inflation, right? So the point is we have lots of volatility everywhere in every system. So crypto actually paints a picture and shows everybody what the traditional space is, like in hindsight, like this is how it goes really fast. Think about it like we're fast forwarding the traditional system. Sure. So, but crypto is really beautiful because the ecosystem is really dynamic, right? And it paints a full picture for everyone, right? But if you can identify the ecosystem, you can actually find community. You can find people who think like you, people who actually do the things you do, right? So, and I met some really great people. So I think a couple of weeks back, I spoke at an event in Leeds, and I really met like like-minded people. I mean, you can find stuff like that, but it's really hard to find people like that in the traditional system. You know what I mean?
No, I do. I'll say you can say for the next question. Just moving slightly over. I'd love to bring Carol into this too. So obviously, just going back to the question about negative publicity that receives you've been in the space as well, working across crypto and blockchain. We'd love to get your thoughts on how many of the people across Azure in South Africa feel about cryptocurrencies and how the industry, as you think, feels about cryptocurrencies and blockchain and everything.
I think some criticism is fair. It's rightfully there, particularly around scamming, fraud, speculative behavior that emerged during the industry's rapid growth. Blockchain technology itself is neutral, however. It's simply just infrastructure, right? It's more transparent and more programmable. It's a better way to move and record value for those reasons. So the focus really should be on responsible innovation, on regulation, on real utility, rather than just dismissing the entire industry because it has bad actors. So in terms of do cryptocurrencies and blockchain deserve the negative publicity? I mean, nobody really deserves negative publicity, right? The thing is not the problem. It is how certain individuals are using it for exploitative behavior or illegal behavior. So I think that should really be the focus. We really do want to shift the narrative away from crypto being a scammer's tool or something to facilitate crime, and more towards something that is genuinely transformative, particularly in the African landscape.
Liking this video so far, please take a moment to give us a like, hype, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss an update from us. For more deep dives and one-on-one interviews, you can listen to our podcast, The Afribond Sessions, either here on YouTube or on Spotify. On the Afribond Sessions, we speak with leaders and key stakeholders across Africa and the African diaspora to explore the business, the ideas, and trends shaping the continent. You can also visit our website to learn more about the work we do at Afribond and our upcoming events.